Okay, so I want to go through the IELTS listening. This is for people who haven't done the exam before and they just want to get an overview of what it's like or what the listening is about in the IELTS section. So let's just take a look at the first part. So there's 4 sections in IELTS listening. There's 40 questions in total. Now in section 1 there's 2 speakers. So it'd be something like a telephone conversation, such as booking a hotel, booking a course. It could be reserving a restaurant or some kind of inquiry. So in this section you need to be listening for names and places and times, prices, numbers, that kind of thing. And it's usually a form that you have to fill in. So it's actually pretty straightforward. It actually gets more difficult when you get to the 3rd and 4th section of the listening. Now section 2 is 1 speaker. Now this is somebody that will be describing something like a tour guide showing people around a building or around a town or a visitor's centre. It could be like a holiday resort, a park or a farm or whatever it may be. So they're explaining where things are, and often you'll get a map in this section. So you'll need to understand the language of direction, such as, go straight on, turn left, on the right, etc., etc. Now, section 3, there's 3 to 4 speakers, and this is usually an academic situation, such as students discussing a course or a presentation, or it could be the teacher or the professor meeting with students to talk about their assignments. So this is a little bit more difficult because you're having to listen for 3 different speakers, possibly 4. Now section 4 is the most difficult for many people because it's a lecture and it's one person giving a lecture. It's quite long. If you can do well here, then you can actually get quite a good band score. So you obviously need to keep your concentration because it's a long talk. So this section tends to be where people have trouble. So some key points here. Now you have 30 minutes for the listening and you get 10 minutes at the end to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now you're going to have different accents. You may have an English speaker or North American, Australian, New Zealander, so you'll be exposed to different accents. IELTS is not actually just British English anymore. Now spelling is very important. If you make a spelling mistake, it will be marked as wrong on the answer sheet. So use a pencil when writing your answers in case you spot a mistake and you need to erase it. Now American and British spelling are both okay, but if you choose British spelling, then just stick with that. Keep it consistent. Don't change halfway through. So you'll only hear the recording once, so obviously you need to be focusing on the information that you need. And you don't have to understand everything, just the key things that you need. So before you start listening, you'll have a little bit of time to actually look at the task itself. So that's when you can get an idea of what you're going to be listening out for. So obviously you need to be able to read the question, listen and write at the same time. So you need a lot of practice in this. Now, this is a very important thing. Always read the instructions. For example, it may say something like write 1 word or a number or no more than 2 words. So if it says write 1 word and you write 2 or 3 words, then it may be marked as wrong. Now don't leave any answers blank. If you don't know, then just guess. And you need to become familiar with the types of questions. So there's multiple choice, filling in a form, filling in a table. You'll get a diagram in some cases, or a map, or some kind of flow chart. There could be questions for completing a summary, completing sentences and matching. Now in some cases the answer is given, but the speaker will change it, and I'll show you in a moment what I mean by that. So this is where you need to listen to the whole context. So suddenly the speaker could change the information suddenly. For example, we have a script here from a telephone conversation about a course inquiry. So the caller asks, what time do the classes start? And the receptionist says, okay, the classes this term begin at 9 a.m. on weekdays and 11 a.m. on Sundays. And then the caller asks another question, and the receptionist answers that, but then she changes the answer. So actually I just realized the schedule has changed its term, and the classes will start at 9:30 a.m. Sorry. So yeah, you can see here that the answer is different. So 9 a.m. here, 9:30 here. So just be careful of that. Just listen to the whole context. Just to give you some examples, this is a section 1. So you can see it's like filling in a form of some kind. We're looking for numbers here, the cost of things. And as I said before, always check the instructions first. It's saying one word and or a number. So one number or one word. This is for section 2. Just filling in the gaps here. Now, often in section 2 you'll get a map or a diagram. So you're going to need to listen out for prepositions showing location. For example, next to, side, or go straight on, turn left or turn right, go over the bridge. The lake is in the north, the east, on the corner, toward, along the river, and so on. These are prepositions of place. These are something you need to be aware of for maps, because you'll need the language of direction and place. And with a map, obviously, look out for the compass thing here, north, east, south, west. Often the map will tell you where you are. It will say you are here, so that you know where you are beginning from. Here's another example. This is a floor plan. And this is an actual map of a farm. And this is section 3. This is, as I mentioned before, it's 3 or 4 speakers in an academic situation. And it's about a study on gender and physics. And in section 4 is the lecture. So in this case, it's ocean biodiversity, one word only for each gap. So those are some examples. With regards to the scoring, if you want to get a high score, then obviously you need to get most of them right. So if you want a band 8, you need to get at least 35 to 36 correct. So that's a useful reference. And with regards to the actual links, I just want to show you some links for listening. I mentioned about maps. I'll leave these links at the bottom of the video if you're watching on YouTube. So there are some tips here, some steps to consider for maps. There's an example task, and there's some useful phrasing. And you can actually practice. You just press that, and you can press play, and you just try it whenever you get time, and then you can check your answers. For more practice, you've got the British Council listening. Again, I can leave you this link at the bottom of the video. This is very useful. I would go for intermediate to upper intermediate. That's more of a higher level of IELTS. So there's different things, different kind of podcasts you can download here. This is quite good for section 4 of the listening, like a longer lecture. You can actually click here to download the worksheet, the PDF. and this is the listening. So you can just go through the British Council website there. There's quite a few listenings. Another one is 6 Minute English. This is quite useful. Have a look at those. And then I also recommend IELTS Liz. She has some very good practice material here. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of listening practice lessons. And if you want to get used to kind of accents, there's a website here called Elllo. And you can actually choose the different kinds of accents here. It shows you the actual person speaking. This is an American accent, English accent. I think that's New Zealand. So it's like videos you can listen to. It's got the transcript here. There's a lot of stuff on here that's worth looking at. So just go through Elllo, and obviously my blog. There's a maps listening. So if you have any questions, then leave them in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. And thanks for watching.